Okay, good morning class. So today we're looking at factorization. Exercise 3. We're looking at the examples for exercise 3. Okay. So it's trinomial factorization today. At this point, you guys have made notes already with regards to this topic. Okay. So the question says find the product. If that was a question, we'll find the product. It will be 3 times 2, which is 6. And to factorize 6 times 3, which is 2. Okay, this is the initial introduction. Not so supposed to have read from here. Trinomials, I'm reading from page 39. Identification always consists of 3 terms. Okay, in a specific order. Sometimes it's necessary to rearrange them in the correct order. It's of importance, people, that you trinomials in the form of x squared x and no x. Can you see that, people? Or if there's 2 variables, as it is here, x squared, xy, and y squared. So descending powers of x and ascending powers of y. Can you see that? So descending powers of x and ascending powers of y. Can you see that, people? An example of each, you got x squared minus 3x minus 10, and you got x squared minus 7xy minus 10y squared. Okay, so that is the form in which we need it to be, and that is what we call standard form. But don't worry about that now. More about that in grade. When we do graphs, we'll talk more about standard form. Okay. But this is the standard form of a cubic function, or your quadratic equation, or your trinomial in other words. Example number 1, and you guys have written all this information already, no? So we are told in step 1, you write down the factors of. Now if you're looking to factorize x squared plus 7x plus 12, there are a couple of steps we'll follow. Firstly, we write down all the factors of 12. So what are the factors of 12? 1 and 12. You can see here. This is normally what I draw, is a bar. On this side of the barrier, on the right hand side, I write the factors of the constant. Okay, what's the constant term here? 12. What are the factors of 12? 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. 4 and 3 is the same as 3 and 4, 6 and 2 is the same as 2 and 6, and 12 and 1 is the same as 1 and 12. On this side, I write the factors of the coefficient of x squared. And what's the coefficient of x squared? 1 and 1. People, I know you guys can see it from the offset already, but write this, make yourself used to it, because when you come to grade 10, you're not going to have to relearn it. Okay, just go through it with it for me at this point. It will make your life easier when you come to grade 10. Okay, and for those of you doing if maths as well, we're going to do it there as well. Okay, this year still, this is actually going to change. But for now, it's fairly simple. We're just looking at the rules. Then step 2, the positive in front of the 12 means that the 2 factors of 12, when added, must give you 7. Now if this, you see that is plus. So I must add the factors or products. Add the factors. So if that had to be minus, what are we going to do? Subtract the factors. Can you see that, people? Then add was the gradient. The middle term's coefficient. Therefore 3 times 4, what is 3 times 4? 12. And 3 plus 4 is 7. That's how they chose 7, this to be your factors. Can you see that, people? Is the correct combination. Step 3, if the third term, namely 12, is positive, then the signs in the bracket must be the same. People, if that is positive, then both brackets must be positive, or both must be negative. Why? Because a negative times negative is a positive. What's positive times a positive? Positive. You guys understand? Alright, so what if this had to be negative? Then in the brackets, one must be positive, one must be negative, or one must be negative and the other one must be positive. Because negative times a negative is a, sorry, positive times a negative is a negative. And a negative times a positive is a negative. You guys understand? Thus, you got x squared. So how do I choose which one of the two? Because a positive times positive is positive, whilst negative times negative is positive. But how do I know which one of the two to go with? I look at the middle term. So what is the middle term? That's why both must be positive. Okay. You guys okay with that? I'm trying to get the sums of our own, but let's just read what they're saying to us. Okay. In number 2, the sum of factors must be positive to give 5. The sum of the factors of 6 must be positive to give 5, i.e. 2 and 3. Why must this be positive? The sum of the factors of 6 must give us 5. So why are we looking at the sum is because this is positive. If this had to be negative, we would have subtracted the factors. Not so. And if you're looking at the factors of 6, what's the factors of 6? 1 and 6, 2 and 3. On the side of the barrier, we write the coefficient of x squared. In this case, it's going to be 1 and 1. So what's 1 times 6? 6. 1 times 1? 1. If I add it, I get 7. What am I looking for? 5. Can you see that? What's 1 times 3? 3. 1 times 2? 2. I'm adding it, I get. And that's what I want. That is why those are the correct factors. You see that? In a bracket, we will have a 1 and a 2. You see, there's a 1 and a 2, and a 1 and a 3. What about our signs? The signs must be the same. Both plus or both minus. In this case, both is going to be minus because the middle term is minus. Okay, second step, signs in the bracket must be the same. Indicates that the sign in the brackets are negative. Right, you guys got that part, no? Let's do sums of our own without the guidance. Oh, they got more. Right, number 3. So here, we got x squared minus 5x minus 6. So firstly, find the factors of 6. What are the factors of 6? 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Coefficient of x squared is 1. So it's 1 and 1. Do we add or subtract our products? We subtract. If that is plus, we would add. Okay, you guys got it?
Please pass the office, Mrs. Tenkov.
So find the factors of 6, which we subtract will give you 5. Why 5? Because that middle term is 5. You guys understand? The middle term is 5 then. So 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1. We subtract it, we get 5. So in the bracket goes a 1 and a 1. Here's a 1 in front of x with a 1 and a 1, and a 1 and a 6. So I would have written 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 6. There's x squared, so there goes an x and an x. What about our signs? Signs in the brackets differ. Why must the signs differ? 1 plus 1 minus, or 1 minus 1 plus. Why must it differ? Because a positive times a negative is negative. Or a negative times a positive is negative. You guys understand it? So, one must be positive, one must be negative. Can I put it anywhere? No. We must look at the larger number of 6 and 1. Must be negative. The larger product must be negative. So x times 6 is 6x. 1 times x is x. So which one is larger, 6x or x? 6x. So the larger one takes the sign of the middle term, which is negative. So there goes negative and positive. Also note, you will see there that on the bracket here, they actually have it the other way around. Do you see that, people? They have it the other way around. So if it doesn't matter if it moves, however the sign must be with the right bracket, with the right with the right bracket. Okay. And we can test it, people. That's a nice thing about this. What is x times x? X squared. What's x times minus x? Negative 6x. What's 1 times x? X. What's 1 times negative 6? Negative 6. So we have x squared minus 5x minus 6, which is exactly that sum here. Now say you add the negative, say you add the positive sign here and the negative sign here, then that would have given you positive 6x minus x, which would then given you positive 5x. Can you see why it is important to have the sign at the right point? Why? Because if I multiply it out, I won't get exactly the same sum. Also remember that factorization is the reverse of products. And products is the reverse of factorization. You guys understand? Is that a bit confusing? Huh? Okay, so let's do one on our own. Okay, without the guidance. Right, so where do we start? We started with the factors, not so. So let's draw the factors. What are the factors of 6? 1 and 6, 2 and 3. That's it. There's a 1 here. So what is your factors of the coefficient of x squared, which is 1? 1 and 1. Do we add or subtract our products? Subtract. Why? Because that is negative. If that had to be positive, we would have added the products. Okay. So it's just a bunch of rules that you need to remember. Okay. So we must subtract. So what's 1 times 6? 6. 1 times 1? 1. You subtract it, you get 1. And what am I looking for? 5. You see that, people? So do I need to check what's happening here? No, because I have what I'm looking for here. So I stop. Alright. So what goes in the bracket? You see that 1 and that 1 goes in one bracket. And this 1 and the 6. Later on, when we get more into it, we get with a number here, then you will actually see there will maybe be a 1 and a 1 and a 2 and a 2 and a 9, whatever. You guys understand? Because I was thinking, okay, that 1 and that 1 is the same. For now it's the same. Okay, but later on it will change. But there will come a time it will change. So, because there's an x squared, this goes an x and an x. What about our signs? Same sign, different signs. Different signs. Whenever this is negative, it will be different signs. Okay, so 1 plus and 1 minus. Not so. But the bigger product takes the sign of the middle term. And what is the sign of this middle term? Positive. So that's going to give us 1x and it's going to give us 6x. So which one must be positive? 6. That must be simple. No? Okay, let's do another one. Easy, no? Yes. Then again, all sums are easy. No? People, we got y squared minus 8y minus 20. Where do we start? Products. So let's write the products. So it's going to be for 20. What are the products of 20? 1 and 20. 2 and 10. Not 3. 4 and 5. Okay. Anything else? Now, what's the coefficient of y squared? 1. So what are the factors? 1 and 1. Do we add or subtract? Subtract, because that is negative. So 1 times 20 is 20, 1 times 1 is 1. Subtract it again. 19. What am I looking for? 8. You see that? There you go. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 2 is 2. You subtracted, you get? And that's what I want. Not so. It's like 18. So in the bracket goes a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a. There's a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 10. What about the variables? It's y squared. So here goes y and a 1. What about our signs? The sign. Same signs or different signs? Sorry? Different. Why different? Because this is negative. So 1 plus 1 minus, or 1 minus 1 plus. Not so. So, which one will take the negative? Okay, looking at the sign of the middle term, it is negative. So the bigger product must be negative. If this had to be positive, then the bigger product had to be positive. You guys understand? So what is 2 times y? 2y. Y times 10? 10y. The 10y must be negative. We must not put the sign in front of the y. So if it's associated with the 10, y, and then we put it there. Okay? Number 6. Where do we start? Product line. We always start on the product line. Okay. There it goes. 1 and 1. Factors of 12. 1 and 12. 2 and 6. Yeah. Do we add or subtract our products? Subtract. 1 times 12 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1. Subtracted, you get 11. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. You subtracted, you get 4. What am I looking for? 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. You subtracted, you get 1. Okay, and that is actually what I'm looking for. In the bracket goes 1 and a 3, or 1 and a 4. So there is 1b, b, b and 3, b and 4. What about our signs in the bracket? Different sign, because that is negative. Okay, so one must be positive, one must be negative. But the bigger sign will take the sign of the middle term, which is? The sign of the middle term is positive. So the bigger product must be positive. That is 3 times b is 3b. 4b. So which one must get the positive? 4. And we can test it. Let's test. We got b minus 3 into b plus 4. b times b, b squared. b times 4, positive 4b. Negative 3 times b, minus 3b. Negative 3 times 4, negative 12. Which gives us b squared plus b minus 2. Which is exactly the sum given. You guys understand? And in the exam, once you have that extra couple of minutes at the end of your paper, you can check your factorization like this by multiplying it out. And if it doesn't give you the question, the answer the answer is not the same as the question, then that means you haven't made a mistake somewhere. Okay? To let's look at number 7. You got a cubed minus 12a plus 30. So where do we start? Product line. So it's 1 and 1, 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. Those are all the factors of 30. 1 times 30 is 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10 and so on. Okay. People, do we add or subtract our products? Sorry, we add it. Why? Because of that is positive. If that had to be negative, we would have subtracted. So we're going to add products or add factors. 1 times 30 is 30. 1 times 1 is 1. You add it, you get 31. 1 times 15 is 15. 1 times 2 is 2. You add it, you get 17. What am I looking for? 13. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 3 is 3. You add it, you get 13. So hang on. That is what I'm looking for. Not so. So in the bracket goes a 1 and a 3. 1 and a 10. So it's an A and a 3. A and a 10. What about our signs? Same signs or different signs? Same signs. Why? Because that's positive. So it's both going to be positive or both is going to be negative. How do we know which one to choose? You look at the middle term. What's the middle term? Negative. So both is going to be negative. Okay. Number 8. But x4 plus 8x squared plus 15. Okay. Is that a trinomial? Is it written in descending powers of x? So we can factorize the trinomial. Not so. Now as you can see, in the brackets will be x squared and x squared. And because our x squared times x squared is x4. So that is a trinomial in that format that we need it to be. So what do we write on this line? What goes here? 1 and 1. What goes on the right hand side? 1 and 15. 3 and 5. Alright. Do we add or subtract our products? Add. 1 times 15 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. You add it, you get 16. What am I looking for? 8. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. You add it, you get? That's what I want. In the bracket goes a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 5. So it's going to be x squared and a 3. X squared and a. What about our signs? Same signs or opposite signs? Same signs. And both is going to be the sign of the middle term, which is positive. Now, is there any factorization that can be done here? And there? So that's your answer. Would you like me to test it? Okay. So x cubed plus 3. If I multiply out, what should I get? Should get the answer, the question again. Not so. Squared. X squared times x squared? X4. X squared times 5? 5x. 3 times x, 5x squared. 3 times x squared? The x squared. 3 times 5? 50. What is that? Like terms. Not so. So 5 plus 3 is 8x squared plus. And that is exactly. Okay. Number 9. We've got x squared plus 7x minus 8. Now x squared plus 7x minus 8x squared plus 7 minus 8x. What do you notice here? Is that in the form that we want, that we need it to be in? No. So what do we do? Rearrange. That must go in the middle. So we get x squared minus 8x plus 7. Are there 3 terms? Yes. Descending powers of x? Yes. So where do we start? We start by writing the products of, or the factors of 7 is 1 and 7. Here goes 1. So that's the only one. Okay. We add or subtract our products. Add. Why do we add? Last term is positive. Does that have to be negative? We would have subtract. So we must add. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. You add it, you get. That's what we want. In the bracket goes x and a 1, x and a 7. What about our signs? Same signs or opposite signs? Same signs. So both is going to be the sign of the middle term. Right, so that basically brings us to the end of exercise 3. The examples for exercise 3 on page 39. With that you should have been able to do numbers 1 to 10. Okay. Was there any problems with that homework? Sorry? So from that exercise, what is the problem? Just add it to this video one time. Number? So number 1 was fine. 2? 3? 4? The problem? Huh?
Because I wasn't like 100% sure, so I don't know what I was. Because I was doing it and I watched the first video, so I wasn't 100% sure. On what
Okay, so the first answer is x plus 2, x plus 3. Number 2, you got x squared plus 8x plus 12. So in your bracket should be x and x. You must add. Do we add or subtract the products? We add it, so it's going to be 6 and 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Add it, you get 8, so both is positive. So what did you write?
I said x plus. Oh, I took the wrong.
Product. What did you take?
3 and 4.
But 3 and 4 3 times 4 is 12. However, if you multiply that out, you're going to get 4x. That's going to give you 3x, which is 7x, and not 8. You see? Number 4 was fine, eh? Number 4, 3's answer, sorry, is going to be x plus 2, x plus 5. That was an easy one. Number 4, what was your answer to number 4?
X minus 3 and x plus 5.
But remember, x squared minus 8x plus 15, the signs must be the same. Not so? So in this case, both must be minus. Number 5, you got y squared minus 5y plus 6. What did you get for an answer here?
Y minus 2.
Y minus 2.
Y plus 3.
But this is positive.
So y minus 3.
So it should be both negative. Number 6. The sum rate a squared plus 5a minus 40. What did you have here in your brackets?
And 2
2 and
and 7.
7. We add or subtract the products, you subtract it. What about the signs? Same sign or opposite signs? Opposite, because that is negative. The bigger product must take the sign of the middle term, which is positive. You got that one?
I had the signs were swapped it out.
So you got a plus 2 and a minus 7. But remember, if that is plus and this is minus, then that would have given you a squared minus 7a plus 2a minus 14. Would have given you negative 5a minus 14 and a squared. Did you see the difference? So watch out for your sign. It costs you 1 point every time you mess that up. Okay, so watch out for them. Unless you don't want all your marks, then it's fine. Number 7. You got p squared plus 3p minus 10. What was your answer here, Michael?
So that's as far as I went because I didn't want to mess up everything. Because
Okay.
it's too confusing.
But you understand
I
it now.
understand now.
Okay, let's just look at number 9. So I see the examples, there wasn't one of this here. So it's x squared minus 2xy minus 15 y squared. Right, so what goes on the line here is 1 and 1. For 15 is 1 and 15. 2 and 3 and 5. You add or subtract the products. Subtract. So that's going to give you 5 minus 3 is 2. And that's what I want. Not so. So in the bracket goes x and a 3, x and a 5. But what do you notice here? There's a y squared at the back. Can you see that? So there goes a y and a y. What about our signs? Same sign or opposite signs? Opposite signs. So the bigger product takes the sign of the middle term, which is minus. So it's going to be minus 5 and plus 3y. Okay. The full list can be found in the description box below.